Let's be honest, most men over 50 still masturbate. But here's the problem. Nobody talks about what this actually does to your body. Does daily masturbation help your prostate? Or can it silently harm your hormones, pelvic floor, and long-term sexual function? Today, I'll break the silence and give you the full truth, the benefits, the risks, the hidden consequences, and when masturbation becomes dangerous. Stay with me, because what you'll learn could literally change your prostate health for the next 20 years. Before we start, if you care about staying sexually strong and protecting your prostate after 50, consider subscribing. Why this topic matters? After age 50, a man's body changes dramatically. Your testosterone declines, your prostate grows, your pelvic floor weakens, and your blood flow becomes less efficient. All of these changes affect how your body responds to masturbation. Something that was harmless at 25 may not be harmless at 55. This is why understanding the real effects matters for your prostate, for your hormones, for your erections, for your mental health, and even for your long-term sexual performance. So let's separate myths from science.
Benefit number 1, masturbation can support prostate function. Regular ejaculation may play a meaningful role in supporting prostate health in men over 50. This isn't speculation. It's based on what urologists and long-term medical studies have observed for decades. Here's the core idea. Your prostate is a fluid-producing gland. As you age, that fluid becomes thicker, more concentrated, and more likely to accumulate. When that fluid sits inside the gland for too long, it increases pressure, and that stagnant environment encourages irritation and inflammation. Several major studies, including research from Harvard and the European Association of Urology, have found consistent patterns. Men who ejaculate more often tend to show lower levels of chronic prostate inflammation, reduced internal congestion, better blood circulation within prostate tissue, and even a modest reduction in long-term prostate cancer risk. Now, why does this happen? Because ejaculation acts like a clearing mechanism. It helps expel old, stagnant fluid, flush out inflammatory compounds, and stimulate healthy blood flow back into the gland. Think of it as gentle internal maintenance, a way to reduce pressure and keep the system moving, especially for men over 50 who spend long hours sitting or who already experience mild BPH symptoms. But it's important to clarify something. This does not mean the more, the better. There's no evidence that daily ejaculation provides extra protection. Most studies suggest benefits around 2 to 4 ejaculations per week, enough to stimulate healthy circulation without causing irritation or unnecessary hormonal fluctuation. So the takeaway is simple. For many men over 50, masturbation is not just a sexual habit. It can be a physiological tool, a practical way to reduce stagnation, support prostate function, and promote long-term urinary comfort.
Risk number 1, too much masturbation can irritate the prostate. One important risk men don't talk about enough is prostate irritation caused by excessive masturbation, especially when the stimulation is intense, rushed, or done without proper lubrication. When this happens, the prostate can become congested, and congestion in men over 50 is not a small issue. It often leads to symptoms such as pelvic pressure, a heavy or full sensation in the perineum, burning or discomfort after ejaculation, increased urgency or difficulty starting urination, a dull ache between the testicles and the anus. Many men immediately panic and assume, I have prostatitis. But in reality, what's happening is this.
The prostate was overstimulated and didn't receive enough recovery time. After age 50, your pelvic tissues, including the prostate, seminal vesicles, and pelvic floor muscles, need more time to reset after ejaculation. Your hormone levels shift, blood flow changes, and the tissues become more reactive to friction and pressure. So, when a man masturbates too frequently or with aggressive technique, the prostate can't fully drain, the tissues become irritated, and inflammation builds. This inflammation doesn't always show up in medical tests, but you feel it. Doctors sometimes call this ejaculatory prostatitis or post-ejaculatory pelvic congestion. It's uncomfortable, but usually not dangerous. And most importantly, it is reversible when you give the prostate time to calm down. If you notice these symptoms after masturbation, it's often your body telling you, slow down, allow more days between sessions, reduce the intensity. Because at this stage of life, balance matters more than frequency.
Benefit number 2, masturbation can improve erection quality. Another important benefit for men over 50 is its impact on erection quality. Healthy erections depend on one thing above everything else: blood flow. And masturbation, when done in moderation, naturally increases blood circulation to the penis. Regular sexual stimulation helps preserve key structures inside the penis, including the smooth muscle that controls rigidity, the elastic fibers that allow the penis to expand fully, and the tiny blood vessels responsible for filling the erectile chambers. As urologists often explain, erections operate on a use it or lose it principle. If a man goes long periods without any sexual activity, including masturbation, the erectile tissue can begin to weaken from disuse. Blood flow becomes less efficient, elasticity decreases, and the smooth muscle can gradually lose its responsiveness. This process is called cavernosal fibrosis, and it becomes more common with age when erections are infrequent. Moderate masturbation can help prevent this decline by promoting oxygenation of erectile tissue, maintaining vascular flexibility, and supporting the biochemical pathways that trigger erections, reducing the risk of long-term tissue stiffening. You can think of it exactly like maintaining a muscle or joint. If you never use it, it becomes weaker, stiffer, and less responsive over time. And for men who are not sexually active, masturbation becomes a protective habit that keeps erectile function alive. However, and this is crucial, more does not equal better. Too much stimulation, especially with high intensity, can desensitize nerve pathways or even cause temporary erectile fatigue. So, the real key is balance. Enough to keep circulation and tissue health strong, but not so much that the body doesn't have time to fully recover. Healthy frequency builds strength. Excessive frequency drains it.
Risk 2 is that excessive masturbation can damage sensitivity. This is one of the most overlooked and silent problems men begin to experience after 50, and many don't understand why it's happening. When masturbation becomes too frequent, or when it involves a tight, aggressive grip, several issues can develop over time. Reduced penile sensitivity, longer time to reach orgasm, weaker erections, and difficulty responding to real partners. Now let's break down why this happens. Your sexual response is not just physical, it is deeply neurological. Every erection, every orgasm, every moment of arousal depends on a finely tuned communication system between your brain, your nerves, and your hormones. If the stimulation during masturbation is far more intense than what the body is naturally designed for, especially stronger than anything a real partner can provide, the brain begins to adapt downward. This process is known as neuroadaptation. Neuroadaptation means your brain recalibrates its sensitivity. It becomes accustomed to a certain level of pressure, speed, friction, or intensity. And with time, normal sexual contact no longer feels stimulating enough. For men over 50, this effect is stronger because nerve sensitivity decreases naturally with age, testosterone tends to be lower, blood flow is not as strong as it used to be. Recovery from overstimulation takes longer. So when a man continues using excessive pressure or high-frequency masturbation, he unknowingly trains his body to expect that exact type of stimulation. This means the brain begins requiring more intensity, more friction, more stimulation than what real intimacy can provide. This is how problems start. A man may notice that he can reach orgasm alone, but struggles during partnered intimacy, or that erections feel weaker unless the exact same high-intensity technique is used. In simple terms, if your hand is applying more force than a partner can realistically match, you are conditioning your brain to depend on that level of stimulation. And over time, natural sensitivity becomes dulled, sometimes dramatically. The good news? This is reversible for most men, but recognizing the risk is the first step.
Before we continue, I want to say something important. Men over 50 are losing sexual function not because of age, but because nobody explains what's really happening with their prostate, hormones, or pelvic floor. If you want to stay sexually strong, avoid prostate problems, and keep your confidence for the next decade, make sure you subscribe right now. And if this video is helping you so far, hit the like button. It tells YouTube to show this information to more men who actually need it. And share this video with a friend, brother, or coworker over 50. Most men suffer in silence, and one simple video can make a huge difference in their health.
Benefit number 3. Masturbation can reduce stress and improve mood. One of the most immediate and measurable benefits of masturbation, especially for men over 50, is its impact on stress, mood, and overall emotional balance. During ejaculation, your body releases a powerful cocktail of neurochemicals, including dopamine, the reward and motivation chemical, endorphins, natural pain relievers that create a sense of calm, oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, which promotes relaxation and emotional comfort, and prolactin, a hormone that contributes to post-orgasm satisfaction and sleepiness. This biochemical release can lead to better sleep, improved mood, reduced physical tension, lower perceived stress. For men facing challenges such as work-related pressure, chronic stress, anxiety, loneliness, or difficulty falling asleep, masturbation can act almost like a natural stress relief valve. And this becomes even more relevant after age 50. Why? Because cortisol, your stress hormone, tends to remain higher for longer, and your nervous system is more reactive to stress than it was in your 20s or 30s. Masturbation can momentarily shift your body from fight or flight mode into a calmer rest and digest state, allowing your nervous system to reset. This is why many men report feeling more relaxed, grounded, or clear-headed afterward. But, and this part is extremely important,
Masturbation should support emotional health, not replace real stress management. If it becomes your primary coping mechanism, two problems can develop. Emotional dependency. You begin relying on orgasm as your main stress relief tool instead of addressing the root cause. Reduced pleasure over time. The brain adapts to any repeated stimulus. If used too frequently as an emotional escape, dopamine levels respond less intensely. This means the pleasure becomes weaker, requiring more stimulation to feel the same effect. In other words, masturbation can absolutely help manage stress, but it should be a supplement, not a substitute, for real emotional resilience and healthy habits.
Risk number 3. Daily masturbation may lower energy and motivation. Let's talk about a risk many men don't connect directly to masturbation: the impact on energy, motivation, and overall vitality, especially after age 50. Some men in this age group consistently report symptoms such as fatigue, mental fog, low motivation, irritability, and reduced drive or ambition. Now, this is important. These symptoms do not occur because masturbation is inherently harmful. Instead, they happen because the older male body recovers differently after ejaculation. Here's what's actually happening. 1. Temporary testosterone dips. After orgasm, your body shifts into a brief recovery phase. While this effect is subtle in younger men, men over 50 may feel a stronger temporary drop in testosterone balance, physical energy, and mental sharpness. This doesn't mean masturbation lowers long-term testosterone, but frequent ejaculation can create repeated short dips that some men feel more intensely. 2. Zinc depletion. Ejaculation releases small amounts of zinc, a mineral essential for hormone production, immune function, energy levels, and cognitive clarity. When ejaculation becomes too frequent, these nutrients may not fully replenish, and older men naturally absorb and recover nutrients more slowly. 3. Your nervous system enters a downshift mode. After orgasm, prolactin increases and your parasympathetic system takes over. This creates the classic relaxed but tired feeling. In younger men, this sensation disappears quickly, but after 50, the recovery window is longer, sometimes hours longer. That's why daily masturbation can lead to patterns like afternoon crashes, reduced drive to work out, lack of motivation to start projects, and a sense of being drained rather than energized. And here's the key point. If you notice you feel tired, unmotivated, or mentally foggy after masturbating, your body is giving you direct feedback. It doesn't mean you need to stop entirely. It simply means the frequency is too high for your current physiology. And adjusting that frequency, even slightly, often restores energy and mental clarity surprisingly fast. Benefit number 4. It can help maintain sexual confidence. Another important benefit, especially for men over 50, is how masturbation can support sexual confidence and emotional well-being. As men age, long periods of sexual inactivity can create unnecessary pressure around performance. This often leads to performance anxiety, fear of erectile failure, overthinking during intimacy, loss of sexual self-assurance. Masturbation, when practiced at a healthy frequency, can help counter these issues by providing a safe, low-stress environment to stay in touch with your own arousal patterns.
Here's how. 1. Reassurance and body awareness. Regular, mindful masturbation helps you understand how easily you become aroused, what pace feels natural, how your erection responds at different times of day, and how long your body takes to recover. This awareness reduces uncertainty, and uncertainty is one of the biggest triggers for performance anxiety in older men. 2. Maintaining sexual rhythm. Sexual confidence isn't just psychological. There's a physical rhythm to intimacy: arousal, erection, stimulation, climax. If months go by without engaging sexually, that rhythm can feel rusty. Masturbation helps you stay familiar with the process, which makes real intimacy feel more natural when the moment happens. 3. Emotional reassurance. For widowed men, divorced men, or men simply experiencing long periods without a partner, masturbation can serve as a reminder that their sexual response still works. Their body is capable, and their desire hasn't disappeared. This alone can improve mood and confidence significantly. 4. Supporting a positive sexual mindset. Men over 50 often report that occasional masturbation gives them a sense of control over their sexual health. It keeps sexuality from becoming something stressful or intimidating, and instead keeps it familiar and approachable. However, and this is crucial, this benefit only exists when the frequency is healthy. If masturbation becomes excessive, rushed, or purely habitual, it can create new anxieties instead of reducing them. When used intentionally and in moderation, it becomes a tool, not a problem, to help maintain sexual confidence as you age.
Risk number 4. It can become compulsive without you realizing. This is a far more common issue than most men are willing to admit, especially after age 50, when routines become stronger and emotional stress can be higher. Masturbation itself is not the problem. The risk appears when it shifts from a conscious, intentional activity to an automatic behavior, something you do without thinking, simply out of habit or to escape uncomfortable emotions. When this happens, it can quietly start affecting several areas of your life, often without you noticing it first. Some early signs include doing it out of boredom rather than desire, using it repeatedly to numb stress, anxiety, or loneliness, feeling a pull to do it even when you're not aroused, or struggling to focus because your mind drifts towards sexual stimulation. If the habit deepens, the consequences become more noticeable. 1. Disrupted sleep. Many men fall into late-night compulsive patterns. This leads to difficulty falling asleep, fragmented sleep cycles, and morning fatigue. This alone can cascade into larger health issues, especially at an age when restorative sleep is essential. 2. Reduced productivity and focus. Compulsive patterns can interrupt your daily rhythm. Some men start planning their day around the urge or feel mentally foggy afterward, which decreases focus and motivation. Even if the actual act only takes minutes, the mental distraction can last hours. 3. Emotional effects and guilt. As the frequency rises, so does the internal conflict. Many men report guilt, frustration, feeling out of control, and shame for relying on it as a coping mechanism. These emotions can quietly erode self-esteem and confidence. 4. Dependency, the silent danger.
compulsiveness develops gradually. Most men don't notice it until they try to cut back and realize it's harder than expected. That's usually when they understand their brain has become conditioned, the habit is providing emotional relief, and the urge has started replacing healthier coping strategies. And that realization can be uncomfortable, but it's also the first step toward regaining balance. The point is not to demonize masturbation. The real warning is about losing control without noticing and letting a natural act become something that dictates your behavior instead of supporting your well-being. With awareness and moderation, this risk can be fully avoided.
So, should men over 50 masturbate? Absolutely, unless your doctor has told you otherwise. But here's the key. Masturbation is healthy when it leaves you feeling energized, relaxed, and comfortable, and becomes unhealthy when it leaves you tired, numb, dependent, or in pain. The ideal frequency for most men over 50 is 2 to 4 times per week, enough to protect prostate health, not so much that it exhausts your hormones, pelvic floor, or nervous system. And finally, if you experience persistent pain, urinary problems, or erectile changes, talk to a doctor. These are not just age, they are warning signs. Quick recap. Masturbation can support prostate health, but too much can irritate it. It helps erections, but excessive stimulation can weaken sensitivity. It boosts mood, but daily ejaculation may drain your energy. It maintains confidence, but it can become compulsive if uncontrolled. Balance is everything. Before you go, I want to tell you something important. If you're a man over 50, your health decisions today will shape the next 20 or 30 years of your life. Most men ignore this, and they pay the price later. But you are here. You're already taking the first step, understanding your body, protecting your prostate, preparing yourself for a stronger, healthier future. So don't stop here. If this video opened your eyes even a little, then you need to watch the next one I prepared for you. It goes deeper and it reveals things most men never hear from their doctors until it's too late. Click on the video that's on your screen right now. Trust me, it's not just another video. It's the next step in protecting your long-term health. And before you leave, make sure you subscribe, not for me, but for you. For your energy, your confidence, your prostate health, your future. If you're serious about staying healthy after 50, you belong here. I'll see you in the next video.